Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
With a goal of sparking interest in the field of computer science, our next guest created a fun, thoughtful, and challenging optimization board game. He's the creator of Numbrail. I think that's how he says it. We'll find out in a moment. And his name is Wendly Saintil. Wendly, welcome Into Tomorrow. How are you, sir?
Hey, Dave, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm happy to be here.
Terrific. Where are you joining us from today?
I am joining live from Apopka, Florida, not too far from your studio.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, you're just kind of up the road a piece. We're in Miami, so how about that? So, fellow Floridians, glad to have you. Am I pronouncing that correct? Numbrail, like number rail? Is that how you say it?
Yes, you got it right. It's Numbrail, so it's like number and like trail, so Numbrail.
Okay. Tell me about the game and how does this help, especially in the field of computer science?
Yes, of course. So Numbrail, it's at the base of it is a 5x5 board game, and each cell is like a number from 1 to 9. And the goal of the game is for the challenge. It's for a player to get 61 points. So the game itself is an optimization game. And there is some thinking that's involved as well. So as you're getting points, you kind of like want your opponents to get points, but not as much as you. So that's where the challenge comes into play.
Oh, so in this case, you want your opponent to score, but not as much, because that's part of the game. Why 61 points? It seems like an odd number.
Yeah, the challenge of the game really is that, of course, you want your opponent to play, but you don't want to be too greedy because, you know, there's optimization that you want to do there. But at the same time, you want to optimize for your part as well. So the number 61, really, the way that it's played is that the numbers on the board is like 1 to 9. And then we want to distribute it evenly so that each of the numbers are correct enough. And at the same time, because it's an optimization game, we don't want to overload the player, kind of like how much do I need to get to win at the end of it. So we kind of settle on an arbitrary number 61, and we train our model to optimize for that number in the game itself.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to get less than or more than 61. The goal is to get to 61, right?
Well, the goal is to get to 61 if like the optimal player will get to that, but not everyone get to 61, and that's okay. Usually I say, you know, if you get to 58 or more, you should feel good about yourself. But the goal itself if you truly optimize the game and if you want to understand the dynamics of the game, is to get to 61. 61 is the goal.
Gotcha. So how'd you come up with this idea? Were you just kind of sitting around with some friends one day and thought, let's do a little online game and get a little more creative than the typical board game?
Yeah, that's a good question. The idea came, I think it's been a few years in the making. So when I graduated from school and I think in 2015 and I was looking for work, I went on a few technical interviews, and one of the interviewer asked me a question about this concept in programming. It has to do with, they call it dynamic programming, and it's kind of like a subset of algorithm that focuses on optimization. And the question itself was like, they gave us a list of numbers. So it wasn't a matrix. It wasn't like a kind of like a chessboard. And the goal is that to write a program so you can optimize how much you can get. Like I take a number and the AI will take a number, and at the end of the successful program, I should get the most out of the game. And usually a lot of time when people hear, you know, dynamic programming and optimization, you know, they think it has to be super complicated.
Yeah.
But that's actually things we do every day, right? If I have to do 10 things for the week, you know, I have 10 events to attend to, I'm kind of thinking, you know, in my planning, what do I want to do first? You know, do I want to go to the gas station before I go to the supermarket? Like things like that. It's kind of like a daily application of optimization that we do every day, actually.
Oh, so that kind of thinking is dynamic programming that we perform every day?
Yes, pretty much. So let's say I go to the store, for example, I don't know if people use cash nowadays, but let's say I pay the cashier and they have to give me change back, let's say $1.25 or $1.26. I would prefer if they give me like $1, like a quarter and a penny, right? That's kind of like optimization instead of getting like 26 pennies, but you know,
gotcha.
It's going to be very pleasant.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. Now, you mentioned AI. So are we able to play Numbrail just with the computer, or do we need an opponent somewhere else in the world online? How does that part work?
Yes, Numbrail has a few features in it. There is the AI that powers the game. So there is a concept of a daily challenge. And that challenge is actually play against the AI. And when I was programming the game, I trained the AI to be very like super smart. So I think there's more than 1 billion tests, I think up to 1 trillion tests that went into making it very powerful.
Oh, wow.
And at the same time, you can also play with your friends. So there's a feature that allows players to play with a friend if that's something that they desire.
Okay, very cool. And I want to remind our radio audience that, of course, we have this video interview or this interview on video. So you want to come and see, because I'm going to ask you to give us an idea how to play the game. What does it look like? Because when I bring up your website, Numbrail, Numbrail, numbrail.com, it's just some numbers, and it says player one's turn to play. So kind of, if you would, maybe walk us through it, show us how you play the game, and perhaps we'll get a few people saying, oh, I'm into that. Let's give that a try.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to give a walkthrough. I have to confess, sometimes the AI is much more powerful than me, but a lot of times.
Yeah, but you programmed it, right? So the artificial intelligence is programmed by you. Hopefully it's not taking over.
It's not taking over, but every now and then he kind of put me in my place, but I'm respectful of that.
Well, that's good. Very cool. So please show us how to play the game.
Sounds good. So I'll give a brief overview. When you go to the website, kind of send you into this landing page. Usually you will say player one. If you want to change your name, you can click on the player one and you can change your name there. I put my name as Wendly. And the original game is like 5x5, and the player needs to get 61 points to win. Like a lot of time when people come and they try to click, they don't really. So there's a challenge in that. So there's a help section to kind of like give people overview on how the game is played and some of the dynamics of the games as well.
And again, now for the radio audience who've not yet seen the video, when you say 5x5, it's 5 numbers across and 5 numbers down, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's a matrix, so there's 5 numbers across and 5 numbers down.
All
and
right.
each cells has a number between 1 and 9. And the total of the board is 121, but to win, you actually need 61 points to win.
So we can arbitrarily select, I guess, any number the first few times, because you're certainly not going to get to 61 with a couple of clicks.
Yes.
But then the computer takes over, right? Or a friend that you're playing with takes over, also selecting numbers to see who can get to 61.
Yes. So the setup of the game is like there's different type of cells. So there's cells that are open that you can select, and there's cells that are not open yet, and they open based on certain actions. So there's 3 types of cells. So there's what we call the corner cells, which is the numbers that are on the corners of the board. And at the beginning of the game, all of those cells are open. So you will see there's a check mark next to them that says they're open.
Right. And all the other cells inside this box, if you will, have locks on them.
They are locked. So basically the way for a cell to be open, like the border cell, for example, like the one that are on the borders, is that the number next to them has to be selected. So once the number next to them is selected, then they become open. So they become eligible for someone else to pick them.
Okay, so can you click on one to show us how that works?
Of course. So here, for example, if I click on the 3, for example, the 7 and the 6 going to open. So I might not want that because they are going to get more points. So I click on the 8 instead. So they get the 6 and the 1 being open. So now you can see the AI already make the choice. They pick 6, then it's my turn to go again. Right? So if I go now, like if I pick that 6 here, that 4 is going to open. So I think, okay, I'm going to get more points. So that's good. So I go and say, okay, let me click the 6.
Now, Wendly, are these numbers always random and in different places, different numbers, or do they always start the same way?
The numbers are always random. So for each board, the configuration is different.
Gotcha.
But each board has a few solutions, but the numbers are not always the same. That's correct.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So like, and these examples, now we have like a few choices open. Like if I get the 1, for example, that would be a very bad choice because they'll get the 7, right? We probably don't want that. The 9, quite yet. So we'll probably get the 4 instead and let the AI take something else, right? They get the 2. If I get the 3 at the bottom, I don't know if you can tell, like the 9 will open up. Right? The 9 next to it will open up.
Okay.
And like as a player, if I'm trying to optimize, okay, do I want to get 3 and let them get 9? Maybe not, right? at the same time, if I get that 3, that the 6 and the 7 is going to open up. So I think that might be a better choice than the 9 at the bottom.
Well, meanwhile, though, have we been watching the AI play the game as well? Is that the different colored boxes that have popped up?
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm the green. So I'm the green on the side.
Gotcha.
So when I select the 3 here, the AI is going to select next to me. But they are so fast that they don't even have to think in a way.
Yeah, I was going to say, they seem to have popped up the instant you hit a number because, of course, the computer is smarter and faster than all of us.
Yeah, yes, they are very reactive. So you see, as you can tell, they pick the 6. I can pick the 4. Right? They will pick the 1 because they don't want to pick the 7 for me to get the 9. Yeah, they're trying to optimize as well.
Wow, my brain hurts because it's already too much math, but I can see how this can be certainly intriguing, whether you're playing with a real live opponent, a real person, or if you're playing with the artificial intelligence. I can see where it can certainly be a challenge. And I'm noticing, so if you're the green, you have 25 points right now, but the AI has 20 points, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And don't be fooled, because even though I have 25, the AI is doing pretty well. Because
yes, kudos to the AI, right?
Because let's say in this instance, what do you think is a good option? We have 7, we have 1, and we have 3 at the bottom.
Oh my God, you're asking me to think. I'm gonna say 3 at the bottom right there.
Sounds good. We take which one? This 3 or this one?
No, the bottom right.
The bottom one.
Yeah,
so
watch me be
9.
way wrong. Okay, and the computer immediately took 9. Now you have 28 and the computer has 29.
Yes, they're on a good path. It's okay. We'll get the 5.
And it's only a 3-hour show, so we've got to finish this game.
We'll finish it. So we'll take the 8, you see. If I take the 7 here at the top,
yeah,
they will get the 9.
Right.
If I take the 2 here, they get the 8, which is okay because I can get the 9. So I'll say, okay, let me get the 2 instead.
Okay.
So I can get the 9. But
Boy, you got to see this on video, folks. So be sure to visit us at intotomorrow.com and look for the Numbrail interview, and you'll see the game being played and why I'm confused. But all right, go ahead. So now the score is 43 you and 45 computers. So we're certainly getting closer to 61. Somebody's got to win.
We're getting closer. So if we get the 9, that will put us at 52.
Right.
Well, they're still protecting for that 9, which is what they're going for. So if I get that 7, they will get the 9. I have no choice. If I get the 2 instead, let's say I don't want to give them the 9 yet.
Yeah.
I get the 4. So I'm kind of cornered in a way. So let's say I get the 2.
Okay.
Just to see what they do. You see, they did get the 4.
They did.
I get the 7. Guess what? 7 plus 54 is 61.
The plot thickens. So you won against the computer. Yeah, I'm so impressed. And there you go. A superb accomplishment, it says. Congratulations. And then you can even share it on, no doubt, anti-social media or something to say that you beat the computer.
Yeah, that's correct.
Very cool. So then how would another player, instead of AI, you want to play with a friend across the street or around the world, how would they get involved? Just go to the website and you both log in or something, or what? How does that work?
So the way it works, you go to the website and there's a menu right on the top left corner. You click on the menu and there's a section that's a play with friends. So you click on play with friends. Once you click on there, it's going to give you it's going to ask you to enter your name, since I use the default name. And then it gives you an ID that you can share with your friend.
Okay.
And they can join you by entering that ID and you can play together.
Gotcha. And certainly the computer is not your friend. So you wouldn't be playing with the computer as a friend. Oh, man, that's wild. So there's got to be a couple of features that you like in particular about Numbrail, aside from the fact that, like I said, it hurt my brain to have to add. But I can see how it can be addictive, though.
Yeah, there's a few features I think are very powerful. One thing I realized is that a lot of people
and let's go back to not sharing your screen so we can see you talk to us now. Unless you had something to show. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Now we're back with Wendly. All right.
One of the good features, one of the powerful features I like with Numbrail is that there's a practice mode. It's a smaller board. It's a 3x3 and so 5x5.
Oh.
For people not to feel too overwhelmed, and you only have to get 22 points in that one. But it's very good. It's still the same concept.
Yeah.
and telling people, kind of like training your brain how to optimize, given the computer to take, and then at the end of the day, you still want to get that 6 to 1.
Oh, for sure. I'd probably have a calculator next to me just to cheat a little bit, and not have to think so much. But I can see where it's fun, and I can, now I get it. When I first went to the website, of course, I wasn't playing. It was like, okay, so Numbrail, it's a bunch of numbers. Now what? But showing us, as you did, makes perfect sense. So we invite our audience to check out numbrail.com, N-U-M-B, like number, rail, as he said, like trail without a T, right? So R-A-I-L, numbrail.com. And of course, we'll get you there when you visit our site at intotomorrow.com. Wendly, the creator of Numbrail, thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us. Have fun. We'll see if maybe you can play against some of our audience.
Thank you, Dave, and thanks to all your listeners as well.
Oh, our pleasure. Again, numbrail.com. Do check it out. Visit us at intotomorrow.com. Check out the video, too. I think a lot of you are going to enjoy playing Numbrail, and you should. What the heck? It's a nice thing that's, you don't have to worry about finding words or scrambling or do goofy stuff. Just have some fun with numbers at numbrail.com. I'm Dave Graveline. Stay tuned. Into Tomorrow continues right here on the Advanced Media Network.